started the live feed before I intended to.
She does know her rods.
I was watching.
She's trying to get in shape, trying to do better.
That's the controller.
This is a solid girl.
I was watching. Watching a little bit of YouTube out here in the studio on the TV. I'm gonna talk to you guys while I take this down. This thing has gotten damaged to the point. Sorry, I'll move you guys so there's better light. So the screen door that covers the whole front of the garage, I'm taking it down because it's well, it's just falling apart, and I ordered a new one. But I thought I'd hang out with you guys for a little bit while I did it. I don't know who else is gonna be here. In pocket today on my day off is the cold steel. Why is that so badly? Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I'll take you guys out here. And that way you can actually see. I'm caught up in the power cord. Now I can't see you. Let's see here. What I was saying is I'm gonna take this all down. But yeah, so lots of stuff going on with the channel. Well, more accurately, not much stuff going on with the channel, I should say. Because well, I've been working 6 days a week. This is the first time I've had 2 days off in a row in a while. So I'm off today and tomorrow, but I have to take the car to the shop tomorrow, and I have to film a bunch of stuff because I have a bunch of stuff that came from Olight for their 15th anniversary. I got to tap those back in. Olight sent me a bunch of stuff for their 15th anniversary. However, I can't show it to you because it's all stuff that I can't publicize until the 12th. So, when I put this up, I screwed up. So you're supposed to use the nails to attach the Velcro, and I put the nails through the screen and the Velcro, and so now I have to pull this damaged screen down from the Velcro. Unfortunately, with my lack of forethought, well, I nailed the whole thing up. So, I don't know why I do things the way I do, but I do. Nailed it. There's also these big tack things in here as well, which is problematic. It came with both, and I used both. Well, they're just glorified thumbtacks. Messages held for review. Right, harder, Daddy. So, yeah, I have some stuff on, but I have to say I accidentally ordered something and it's coming, and I am gonna have to film a video about it. 'Cause a bunch of people were like, "Oh, but you want to get the Janet? What is it? The Janice song? The Janice song knife." And I was like, "No, I don't." But I was looking at it, and I was on a website that I've used before, and I forgot I had things set up for one-click ordering, which is an option kind of like Amazon. I did it. Unfortunately, they don't allow returns because I'm really not interested in that knife. But we will have a video about it because, well, I fucking own one now. Oh. I was like, what am I seeing here? I was like, what am I seeing here? That is, well, it's a kid's balloon. I kept seeing the shadow blowing across. Oh, guess what? Maybe one of my guys can report you, and I'm gonna block you from the channel. So let's, that's a beautiful, beautiful day here in San Diego. It is about 72 degrees. So, yeah. So stuff coming. I'm gonna have that Janice song on the channel. I have a new knife from O Knife that is done in their AOL, which is the only aluminum that it's the only aluminum that is capable of being used for frame lock. So we're going to see that. So we're going to see that coming soon. You're going to see that and the lights that they sent me. They sent me a clip. They sent me their Warrior Ultra. But you're going to see all of those on the upcoming videos about them. So it'll be fun. That'll be some fun stuff to see on the channel. I got Black Widow eggs. I found a whole thing of Black Widow eggs just now. Well, technically they're Brown Widow eggs because they're the spiky ones. But we're gonna throw that away anyway because I don't want to fuck spiders in the house. So I've been going through the stuff that I have here at the house and carrying some stuff that I haven't carried in a while. I had this out for the video about the forgotten knives. So that was one that I got out for that, and I've been carrying it ever since. So when I do those videos, it definitely, I'll pull out knives that I haven't carried in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that. I love carrying that knife. So you're probably gonna see some more knives that you have seen before on the channel showing up again, which is always fun. It's nighttime where I'm at. I am. You're lucky I'm supposed to be sleeping, but I'm sneaking my phone. If you're watching my channel, you probably are old enough to not have to sneak your phone. If you do have to sneak your phone, well, that's a sad state of affairs. So I'll give you a quick sneak peek of the knife that Olight sent me. It's OAL aluminum, and it is a frame lock. And I was really surprised because they were like, it's an aluminum frame lock. And I was like, I've never heard of an aluminum frame lock. Never once in my life. And the fact that they were able to do it with this new alloy of aluminum they make, I'm pretty impressed. After caffeinate, I realized I didn't drink coffee this morning before I went shopping for the wife, and I was like, my head hurts. I can't really show you. So I can show you a little bit of it. It looks like this. It's pretty straightforward design. It reminds me a lot of the TAD designs, but it is a frame lock and it is aluminum. And somehow they came up with an alloy that is flexible enough. Well, aluminum's good, aluminum's strong, and it does some stuff that's cool. It tends to be brittle, and it doesn't have the flexibility that you want like titanium or steel in a frame lock. It's a little bit more rigid, and so they were able to make an alloy that allowed them to make a frame lock, and it is a very good frame lock. I really enjoy this a lot. It's 100% an aluminum frame lock, which really surprises me. Read Darius's message. Where's Darius? I don't see a message from anyone named Darius. It doesn't. I don't even see anything for there. Why are all knives called numbers and letters? They're not. They're not. This is the Espada. Some companies do letters and numbers. This one is called the Duron. Some companies do make knives that they're just all numbers. This thing is filthy, by the way. The screen that I'm taking down. I gotta go to this side. Hang on a second. I'm coming. I gotta rearrange some stuff. But yeah, Olight's 15th anniversary that they're doing, all the items that they're doing for their 15th anniversary. No, I'm from Ohio. So their 15th anniversary stuff is all going to be done in AOL aluminum. The flashlights they sent me are really, really cool. So we will do a video about those. So here. Reattach this. Okay. I'm coming right back. I just want to get this one good. There's not a lot. Spider eggs, spider webs. I'm coming back. Give me a second. As soon as I get this torn down, we'll be done and I can interact with you guys. This seems like name dropping contest to me. Yanks to knives. It's like I don't know what you're talking about. Americans carry knives. We didn't emasculate ourselves and give up all of our weapons like you fucking Aussies. I won't be lectured to by a group of countries that took away all the weapons, all the firearms, and then now are talking about taking the tips off of knives because they can't realize that the weapon's not the problem. It's the people causing the problem that are the problem. Just a gay dude cleaning his garage. Hey, just a cuck that can't comment anymore. How about that? Have you seen new Kaiser Drop Bear Fixie? I mean, if it looks like the Drop Bear. That's all I can do now is watch because I took away his ability to comment. Let me, this is 16 by 7 foot. Yeah, I got to throw this away. This thing is just ruined. Just ruined. That thing lasted about 2 years. That thing lasted about 2 years, and it did a really good job. The thing is, here in Southern California, we have a lot of insects, especially because neighbors have like fruit trees, so we get a lot of fruit flies, and then the house is just full of it. And there's not much you can do about it, but hey, bye. Boy, it seems like I only got the trolls today. So, yeah, Oleg sent me a bunch of stuff. So I have the Warrior Ultra and the O-Clip Ultra, which are both new versions of knives. That there's new features on them, so they're pretty cool. But I just want to let you guys know. So, I'm probably not gonna film anything this weekend. So you're probably gonna get a video this week. I can't remember what it's gonna be. I think it's the video about this Ozark Trail. Whoa, greetings from Newcastle, UK. I think the video you're probably gonna get is the video I did about this because I am kind of impressed with this. This is that $10 Ozark Trail. Let's bring you guys over this way. And I might lower you down and sit down for a little bit because it's been busy. It's been busy. So this is that Ozark Trail $10 knife that I took the video. What's the matter, buddy? I took you guys with me to go get it, and I didn't figure it would be very good at all because I'd seen so many people complain. And don't get me wrong, it's not a great knife, but as far as like being able to grab something and like if say you needed a knife and you didn't have one, like say you left home without a knife and you forgot, which I can't say I've ever done, like, there's been times where I had to leave a knife behind, go into some place where you couldn't have a knife, but typically I carry a knife all the time. But this is something that if you were, say you went on a trip, can't carry a knife on an airplane, you thought you put one in your bag, you did not, and then you get wherever you're going and you don't have any, you could stop by Walmart and grab one of these, and this would probably cover any of the tasks you're going to do for that period of time. But I will say, I was surprised at how well it held its edge. I have not resharpened this, and it's still got, you know, it's not a great factory edge, but it's held up, and I cut a good bit of cardboard with this. JM, I just talked to Elliot Williamson on the phone yesterday from Fair and Force Knife Works. You were part of the topic of conversation. We were talking about the knives that you had ordered from him. As far as a quick grab and go knife, I can't say that this is horrible for $10. I think it would last you a few weeks. Like if you were somewhere and you needed to get a knife and you weren't going to be able to get back to your regular knives that you carry, like I said, like say you went on a flight to somewhere. I can't think that I've ever done it, but like to go somewhere and then you forget to pack a knife in your checked luggage, and you get where you're going and you just stop by Walmart and grab one of those Ozark Trails for $10. It's going to last you. And it did come with a significant burr on it that I did remove. I removed the burr. Wow. I haven't had any. This is the first caffeine I've had today. It's already 2 p.m. So that's 2 p.m. I'm going to be up all day. I'm going to be up all night now. I did remove the burr off of this by gently passing it on a ceramic rod and then hitting it on a strop. Well, actually, I removed most of the burr by running it through cork, but there was still significant, and I figured it was going to be a burnt edge. It seems to have held up pretty well. It still is cutting pretty well. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's not anything to write home about. I wouldn't tell you like, hey, you should go grab one of these. And it's got some hot spots and there's a lot of blade play. It's just a cheap knife, but it performed pretty well. What's everybody else doing on their Sunday? So this is my Saturday. I'm off today and tomorrow. So I'm off Saturdays. I'm off Sundays and Mondays now. So the reason that there hasn't been a lot going on the channel is because I had been working 6 days a week, basically since I started. So we're gonna get back into doing stuff. And I had intended on filming some stuff today. I may film at least a video tomorrow, and I'm gonna try and start filming after work. I just have to get back in the rhythm because I still have to take the dog for a walk and shit like that. So by the time I get home, you know, it's a 30-mile drive to work. So like a lot of you guys are in the country, like, so I do that every day. When I was in Ohio, you're like 30 miles. That's like going to town to get groceries, right? Here, that can be a very long evolution. So I typically, I get off work at 2. I'm out of there at like 2:10 by the time I get in the car and everything out of the office, because we always have like conversation with the oncoming shift. And so there's a lot of times I get out of there at like 2:15-ish. By the time I get on the road, I'm looking at like almost an hour drive home to drive for 30 miles home through traffic. Sometimes it's only 30 minutes for 45 minutes, but typically it's about an hour. And then I got to come home, I got to get out of my uniform, and then I got to take a shower and take the dog for a walk and all that stuff. So there's a lot of times it's like 5 o'clock, and I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So come 5 o'clock, it's already dinner time and getting ready for bed and getting my lunch ready for the next day. It doesn't leave me a lot of time for filming. So once we get into the rhythm of everything and stuff like that, but I have to take my car to the shop tomorrow. So I don't think there's going to be any filming tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be expensive. And I'm not going to lie. I am really happy that I'm working again. Hey, what's up, buddy? Go check out Sergeant Rock Headbanger's Ball on Rumble. And I know I owe you an ad, but like I literally have been working 6 days a week until this week. And so, yeah, that schedule doesn't leave me a lot of time for filming. And the fact is, it feels good not to feel like I have to be like tethered to this studio to film, because while I was waiting on a job, the only income I had was YouTube. And I don't know if you know this, you don't make a lot on YouTube. So, sorry, I keep kicking the tripod. So you don't make a lot of money on YouTube. So you just have to keep making a lot of videos. And so that means that I was filming and editing every day, and I tried to get a bunch of stuff done ahead of time because I knew this job was coming. So there was 3 videos a week, 2 live feeds, and then, you know, a lot of other stuff like shorts and stuff like that. And it feels good to just say, fuck it, I'm not doing a video this week. It's nice to not be tethered to that. And I think what that's going to lead to is better content. It's going to be better content because I don't feel like I have to rush. How's the shoulder? I mean, it's a fucked up shoulder. There's not much I can do about it, but it's still, it's not horrible right now. It's not horrible right now, so it's, you know, it's manageable. And they changed up my autoimmune disorder meds, which affects the arthritis in the shoulder, which means that I have less arthritis. Matter of fact, I have to give myself an injection today. It's on the counter warming up, so it's not cold when I stick that needle in my belly and inject that medicine, because the medicine already is unpleasant, and then the if it's cold, it's even worse. So, but yeah, it's nice to be able to just say, you know, hey, I don't have to film anything today. And the fact is, I don't have anything to film right now. I don't have anything to film right now because Jared and I haven't talked in a while, and Jared usually sends me stuff. He hasn't sent me anything for a while because I haven't had a chance to send him back his stuff yet. So, no. I don't do requests. There's a call-in radio show somewhere near your house that does requests. This ain't the channel for that. So, new knife design. I got the contract. So my new knife design, which is here. I don't know if you guys saw it. If somebody wants to put a link to it, Metal Complex did a video. Well, you got to be a moderator to drop a comment. Metal Complex did a video about the prototype for this. He has it. Is it okay to always leave your stones in water? Okay, that's a good question. If they are a natural stone, yes, you can leave them in water forever. If they're just a cut natural stone, cut from a stone, from a block. If they are a natural stone, yes, you can leave them in water. Basically, it's good to let them dry out 1 day a week. If they are a composite stone, like if they're a composite stone that is like a compressed matrix, no, you should only wet them, and then you should only wet them when you want to use them. If they are like the ceramic Shapton stones, those are a no-soak stone. So as well as the, what do you call them? The Naniwa Super Stones. Those are a different type of stone. And it will ruin them. They'll come apart. They'll start to crack. They'll just fall apart. And some of those stones are expensive. So those are what are called splash and go. And I've got them right here. I can show you what I'm talking about. Hang on. Matter of fact, I just came back from shopping a few minutes ago, so there's still stuff. Let me turn you around so you can see here. It's a mess, and you can't look at that. That's part of the Olight stuff that came in. Let's see. I'll show you what I'm talking about these stones. So you guys can see over here, these are kind of the stones I'm talking about. They are not a natural stone. These are a ceramic, but they're a composite ceramic. So they are in a matrix. Sorry, you guys can't see that. They're in a matrix. It's a matrix. And so if you soak this in water for more than they recommend no more than 8 minutes soak time. 6 minutes. 6 minutes soak time, I mean. So if it's a natural stone, which natural stones are expensive. What do you think about the new O knife XEN OAL? I have the Duron OAL. It's the only aluminum frame lock I've ever seen. So I'm kind of impressed with it. It doesn't seem to be too bad. Now, there's other stones that you can leave in water, like the king stones. They're kind of a bound stone, but they're not. I just recommend, like, just wet your stone. Just wet your stones when you need them. So if they're more of a natural style stone or composite stone, just get them as wet as you need them to where they stay wet on the surface. I would just add water to them as you, like I said, those Shapton stones, you don't need to soak them at all. Like I've had it be really, really dry and had to soak like the 1,000 grit Shapton occasionally. My buddy got a full set of them, the 320, the 1,000, and the 5,000, and they didn't really need to soak too much, just like spraying water on them until it stayed wet on the surface, and then continue to add water as you're using. I don't recommend leaving stones in water. They can get to smelling bad. They really can. Like a bucket of water in your garage all the time. Just like if you've got like something like a king stone, like one of these, like these Kia or these Kai. These are those Kai or sharp pebble style stones, the two-sided ones that are the two-sided water stones. They are a water stone. But you can soak these. You can soak these overnight. You can soak them for a couple hours. When you start getting into the more expensive, like the Shapton stones, yeah, don't leave them soak. The Shapton stones, don't soak them. Don't leave them submerged in water for more than 6 minutes is what they recommend. And so I have a barbecue sauce bottle, a repurposed barbecue sauce bottle. Works perfect. Actually, I think this is the Capital City Mambo sauce, which is, that stuff's great. That stuff's good on everything except bratwurst. As a matter of fact, I have a bottle of it in the refrigerator. The spicy barbecue sauce stuff. This is perfect. Just the right amount of water. You can go right down the middle of your stone when you need it. If it's really dry here, sometimes I have a hard time keeping the stones wet here in San Diego, because you will have days where it's that desert dry, where it's like single-digit humidity and the whole state tries to catch on fire because of the Santa Ana winds. Those are just days that I don't sharpen, because that's days I don't sharpen knives. So you're such a good boy. Yes, you are. The neighbor dog is over there, and Chunk is just watching. Just here, I'll show you. So the neighbor dog is over here. I was trying to get him. He's just laying there. No, that was not an indication for you to come out here and cause trouble. No. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Chuck, in the house. Come on, bud. No, in the house. Go. House. Go in the house. Go in the house, bud. Go to mama. Go. He's got a really bad infection. My daughter took him. So I have to say, like, as there are things I love about California. The weather, first and foremost. Like, the weather is great. They just charge too much for it. The people in my neighborhood, amazing. The food, amazing. So many things, but it's not an ear infection. Well, he had 2 bacterial infections on his skin and an internal, like, yeast infection in his ear. So my daughter took him to the beach. No, this is different. My daughter took him to the beach. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about what's going on in Southern California right here, because we're right at the border. So she took him to the beach down around just up the road a ways, called Dog Beach. Problem is, fucking Tijuana dumps raw sewage directly into the Tijuana River and out into the ocean every night. Like, we can smell it. We can't sleep with our windows open here anymore in the summer because it just smells like raw sewage all night. So she took him to the beach. I didn't know that's where they were going. I thought she was going to the beach way further north that she used to go to. And he got a really bad infection. And so it was bad. Like, he had a spot. We've talked about it. I wear triple XL gloves. He had a spot on his neck all the way up on the back of his ear that was so bad that it was like the hair had all come off. It was all wet and red and like a hot spot, but worse, and clear up onto his ear and then down around his neck, like the size of my hand. And so I had to take an emergency trip to the vet. Fucking $500 later, he's on 2 different types of antibiotics, a steroid and an ear infection drop. So he has multiple medications he's taking every day. What are we talking about here? I seem to have a hard time getting sticky edges on S30V. Yeah, it's because S30V fucking sucks. And that's why I wish I hadn't bought that goddamn knife. But Janison, accidentally, I gotta get quiet, it doesn't know what happened. I accidentally bought it because I had that shit set for 1 click and I was dead to, guys, I tell you I quit drinking, so it wasn't a drunk purchase. It was just a dumb purchase. And so I accidentally clicked on it and it shipped. And the place I bought it from has a no returns policy. They're really cool to work with. They said free shipping and stuff like that because they do longer term shipping. They will allow you to put things on layaway, but once something's shipped, there's a no returns policy. I'm like, shit, because I didn't realize I bought it until I was like, your item is shipped. I'm like, there we go, a PDM moment. So it's an S30. I would have never have bought it. It's an S30V. I'm cursing a little bit on this one because, hey, don't worry about me, Pink Panther. I typically don't curse. I typically don't curse. My channel's PG. But I just kind of felt like letting go today. I've been carrying a lot of knives that I haven't carried for a while, but I want to make sure you guys see this. I've been carrying, I dug this thing out because I hadn't carried it in a while. I've been carrying on my off time. I haven't carried this in a little while. This is my night guard from TK Knives. I've been carrying this. I forget how easy this thing is to carry. It's just a great knife. I'd much rather see USA made. I'd rather buy US made even if it's not quite as nice as Chinese manufacturing. I refuse to pay more to get less. I've been hounding on the fact that American manufacturing needs to step up how good their knives are. They need to eat a little bit of that cost. They need to start providing the level of quality that you can get from other companies. Because while I would love to buy my favorite knife I've ever purchased is American made knife. A lot of my favorite knives I've ever purchased have been American made knives. But the fact is, I refuse to pay Benchmade prices for something that is not as good as a $50 or $60 knife that's coming out of a Chinese company. I just refuse. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is one of the best knives on the market. One of the best knives you can get, Chinese made company. This outshines 90% of American manufacturing at a quarter of the price. This is a Kunwu Django XL. It's an amazing knife. They have one of the best heat treats I've ever seen on LMAX. And people are like, Chinese knives are garbage. This outshines 90% of American made knives. And to get something this good from an American made company, you're gonna pay 3 times what you paid for this. Well, you're gonna pay more than you paid for this. Typically. Microtech, killing it. It's the best knife I've ever bought. 100% American made. I mean, granted, we don't make aluminum, we don't mine aluminum in the United States anymore, so I guarantee they got the aluminum from offshore. Bowler M390, European steel. It's amazing. It's fucking great. Would you go back for a nice titanium frame lock for less than 3? What would you go with for a nice titanium frame lock for less than 300? Nice titanium frame lock, less than 300. I got one on my workbench. Now, granted, It's Chinese made, but it was OEM'd for a company in Europe. Let's see. PMP Big Boy. Spends a lot of time in my pocket. 14C28N. I think these were $199. You might still be able to find them a couple places. 14C28N titanium frame lock. Got some really heavy Shuragora vibes. Good slicer. Gets us nice thin blade stock. It's not super thin blade stock. It's thin blade stock that comes down nice and broad, so it's nice and thin behind the edge. Really good heat treat on the 14C28N. PMP Big Boy. I think these were $199 on Blade HQ. They may still be available. Like, I have a link to Blade HQ down below. Look up the PMP Big Boy. It does have some heavy Shuragora vibes, doesn't it? Let me turn off my I gotta put this on airplane mode, or we will. My phone is. I almost used the R word. I forgot I'm not on Rumble. I did a couple lives on Rumble, and I used some colorful language that you can't use on YouTube. It has some heavy Shuragora vibes, and I'm typically not a fan of Shuragora. Oh, what I was saying is my phone is stupid. My phone will automatically try to do everything over cellular, even though it has a stronger Wi-Fi connection. And for some reason, when I come home, I have to turn off Wi-Fi calling and turn it back on, because the second I walk in the house, I don't have signal. I don't have cellular. I don't have cellular data. So I have to be on Wi-Fi calling, but it won't automatically connect. So I'll be on Wi-Fi calling the entire time I'm home. If I drive away, when I come back, I have to go into my phone settings, turn off Wi-Fi calling, turn it back on, and then turn it on airplane mode so that I can make calls. I shouldn't have to do that. I didn't have to do it 5 years ago. I didn't have to do it 2 years ago. But in their infinite wisdom, somehow, updates on software has made everything worse than it was before. KnifeWorks has them in stock. $189. Yeah. $189. Hey, I don't read squiggles and dots. I'm not trying to be, I don't want to sound racist, but as far as I know, that says die infidel. I don't know. So I'm sorry. I can't respond to that. It's no different than if my wife texts me in Japanese. Sorry. I've been carrying this a lot too. You can find the video I did about this and purchase it. I don't recommend just up and buying it until you watch my video about it, so you can find my video. This is The Offender by Jared Knives. I have an affiliate link that's not set up properly yet in my description below, but you can go find the video I did about it. This is Jared over at Knives Knives. This is his new knife. I absolutely love this thing. I've been carrying this a lot. So really nice. It's got some similarities to the Norseman, which is kind of the way I like it. I mean, I like a lot of things about this. It's really slicey, really slicey, and it's holding its factory edge incredibly well. You guys know, you've seen my knives, you've seen the videos I do a bunch of stuff. But then back to the American made. Best American made knife I've ever owned, right here. As much as I love my Ferrum Forge KnifeWorks knives, this is a better knife. This is just the best knife I've ever bought. It's not the best all-around EDC knife. It's not my best overall performing knife, but overall bells and whistles and everything and bang for your buck and price point, best knife ever. Best knife ever. I love it. It beats my Norseman. Just a little bit. Hey, don't try and crash my... Tell Alex to put a hand-sharpened edge on that Norseman. Yeah, I cringed a little bit when I saw him opening paint cans with it. Does it beat the military 2? A lot of knives beat the military 2. I think the military 2 is the best Spyderco that they make. As a matter of fact, it's so that you guys know, like I have a lot of stuff here in this studio as far as knife wise, and you guys know that we've talked about it before. So like all this stuff is those all pretty much have knives in them still. There's knives in boxes back here. There's knives just sitting. There's most of that's maintenance tools, but then there's a special spot where specific knives live. Knives that, you know, like this came out of here. And, you know, this is where really special knives live. Why does it seem like I'm zoomed in? It's because I am. Really special knives live in here. This is my favorite Spyderco, the Police. This is the best Spyderco they make, the military too. And this gets carried a ton because I'm just trying to figure out when it finally will go dull because it still has its factory edge. And I cut up a bunch. Can you see how much streaking there is on that blade from cutting? And it's still razor sharp from the factories. Matter of fact, that'll go in my pocket right now. This knife lives in there. And, you know, just basically my favorite knives. Now, there is an outlier. I absolutely fucking hate this knife. So this is horrible, but it's there because it gets used for size comparisons. This is probably the best all-around EDC knife you're ever going to come across. Yes, I don't like any of the. You guys have asked me, like every time we do one of these live feeds, somebody asks me if I've handled the Sage or the Native, and I've said every time, yes, I have. And guess what? I don't like them. I haven't. I never have. I've seen the Sage. I've handled the Sage. I handled the Native. Now, the only one I haven't seen that I think I might like would be the Native Chief, and that's because it basically looks like it is a military too. It's that similar. And then, you know, this knife is there because these three get used for size comparison, but this is one of my favorite knives. This gets a lot of pocket time. This is my Sabenza. Yeah, you know, we got all kinds of stuff. That's just there to remind me not to fall for the hype. I look at this knife every day and I'm like, don't listen to whatever other people tell you because this is not a fucking gem. I'm sorry, Nick Shabazz. This is not a gem. This is not what you, I can't believe Ontario Knife and Tool went out of business. I can, because that's a horrible knife that they've tried to prop up as a gem. And then there's stuff that just lives up here that gets carried a lot. So this is stuff that gets carried a lot. It's not necessarily the stuff here that is like my favorite knives that aren't in that case down there, because like all my Farron Forge Knife Works and stuff are in there. These are the things that typically will find their way into my pocket daily. Like this is typically in my pocket, but right now its spot is being taken by this. And the other spot that it would take was being held by this one right now, because I was doing a bunch of stuff that I needed some heavy tasks. And I got news for you. The largest Spada is great. It does not surprise me because the rat in all their materials has not been well done. I don't like the rat 1. I don't like the rat 2. I don't like it. I never liked it. I got the rat 1 because Nick Shabazz talked about it all the time. I'm friends with Nick. I take a lot of the things that Nick says, you know, pretty much as gospel. If I'm looking for like a disassembly on a knife and I've never done it before, I may go. I saw your question, Will. I saw it. I ignored it intentionally. But there's a couple times that I just absolutely vehemently disagree with my buddy Nick Shabazz. And I gotta find my reading glasses or I'm gonna have a headache from reading you guys' comments. Because I'm old. Man. So I vehemently disagree with Senor Shabazz. And I've told Nick this. I don't agree with him about, oh, that's good. I haven't sat down today. I don't agree with him about the Sleesh Bowie. The Sleesh Bowie is not a good knife. The only reason they ever sold those knives is because Nick did videos about it. Okay, my thing with MagnaCut, allow me to clarify my take on MagnaCut. Just take my boots off. Just take my boots off. I got my favorite boots, my Nakonas. I had these custom made. They're as close to having slippers on and going out in slippers as you're ever going to be. Probably the most comfortable cowboy boots I've ever owned. They're probably some of the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned. I don't like MagnaCut, not because it's not a good steel. It's not a good steel for me, for the things that I cut, the way that I cut. It does have a lot of really, really good properties. It holds its edge very well. As I said in that knife that Jared sent me, it has held up incredibly well. It strops easily. It sharpens well. It takes a really nice edge. It holds it. It's got some of the best corrosion resistance you're going to find in a steel. But the fact is, I find other steels that might not have those things. It's okay. Let me see. How do I put this? Like, it's as close to the vanilla flavor ice cream of steel as you can get. I like a little bit more flavor in my shit. I like things that's a little bit spicy. I like things with larger, maybe not as evenly distributed carbides. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the powdered steels because they have a tendency to have super, super fine carbides, which don't cut the way that I want. They don't have the edge feel that I want. 14C28N does, larger carbides. M390, it's powdered steel. It has a tendency to, depending on heat treat, have what I'm looking for, larger, more irregular carbides that are more aggressive. Rex 121's edge is amazing. I've never said that Rex 121, when sharpened properly, is not amazing. MagnaCut, Rex 121, when sharpened properly, it's amazing. And the heat treat that some people do is amazing and holds up really well. Big Brown Bear. Big Brown Bear is the exception to the rule when it comes to MagnaCut. I find MagnaCut to be really, really aggressive. I'm sorry, really, really brittle if you happen to be aggressive in use. I've seen a lot of those Spyderco MagnaCut. What were they? The MagnaCut, were they the PM2s that were in MagnaCut? At any rate, I've seen a lot of people that would be cutting and then twist a little bit and take a big chunk out of their blade. I don't mean chip the edge. I mean like a thumb pad, like the pad of your thumb-sized chunk. Not my thumb, but that's a big thumb. Like a pinky pad-sized chunk out of the blade. Just chip it off, break it off, because it is very brittle. So it's just, I want specific things. I would say AEBL that's been heat treated really well. I don't mind it. AEBL is good. I don't like most AEBL, but I do have a couple knives here that are in AEBL that are absolutely amazing. So some steels can be better, but yeah, I was nailing it before, but I took it all down. I had to take down that screen for the I had to take down the screen for the garage door screen because it was just torn up. I have a new one coming. Nice thing is the Velcro is still in perfect shape, so I can just put the new one up, and then we'll be good. But yeah, the MagnaCut just doesn't do the things I want it to, and so I don't mind it in Jared's knife, but when I sharpen it, I'm gonna have to sharpen it at as a fairly aggressive grit, which I find it cuts well, but it adds friction. Well, therefore, you add friction to the cutting, and then you are causing the adhesive wear on the edge, and therefore your edge won't last as long as it would if it was a more polished edge. But then when it's more polished, it doesn't cut. You know what I'm saying? I can take some of these other steels all the way up to like 8,000 grit, have a fairly polished edge, but still have that aggressive carbide structure at the front. You get that D2. D2 is one of those ones you absolutely can do that, but D2 rusts like crazy. 3V and 4V, super, super aggressive edge that you can take way up in the grit, and you take it way up in the grit and it's still aggressive. Unfortunately, if you breathe on it wrong, it rusts. So it's a game of give and take, like getting the things you want and not necessarily giving up too much on the other side. It can be the same with heat treat. My custom heat treats on 20 CV absolutely will rust way before a production heat treat. So any of you guys that ever, I don't think anyone here owns one of my production stone or my custom stonefish. So if you had a custom stonefish and a production stonefish, you would find that the custom stonefish that I made by hand is going to rust way, 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 way more than the production one. The production one is really rust resistant. The ones that I made that were heat treated about 4 points higher on the Rockwell are not going to be as rust resistant. And that's because when you take it up further in the heat treat, and you've got it somewhere around 64, 65 Rockwell, right? Maybe 66 if you're pushing it. You've absorbed more of the chromium oxide into the carbide structure. And so therefore you have more. It's the second time you asked, and I've already answered, troll. So somebody give, this is the bot warning. Stop asking the same question or I'll boot your ass. You know what? 24 hours. You can go play in the corner for a little while. You've absorbed more of the chromium oxide into making chromium carbide than you do at a lower Rockwell because it's at a lower heat. And so what happens is you have less chromium oxide available at, so the chromium doesn't form the, what I should say is the chromium gets absorbed into chromium oxides or chromium carbides as opposed to turning into chromium oxide at the surface. And the chromium oxide that's at the surface is what's going to prevent the rust. So you give up to get that much more aggressive feel on that edge and the stronger, more better edge retention, less rust prevention. Exactly. You get way better edge retention in that custom heat treat I did, but it took about 10 hours per blade to heat treat those. So as opposed to, you can't do that production level. You can't. And my reading glasses make my eyes look really big. I just noticed that. Oh. So I'm gonna try and film some stuff tomorrow, but it depends on how I feel. I might be frustrated because I have a sneaky suspicion that this car repair is gonna cost a lot. Because I have two things that I have to have them do. I'm past due for the transmission service on my Volkswagen, and my engine light came on. Typically the engine light comes on, I give it a couple days, usually it turns off, right? Sometimes it's just a little hiccup. Yeah, I'm not a little guy, that's a tall boy of a rock star. And it's a diesel. Perspective, to put how big hands are in perspective. I forget who it was on video when we were watching it. I'm like, he can't be that big of a guy, right? And it was Cole. It was Cole over at Tri-State EDC, more at live feed, and he goes, "Oh, I got the Mordax. He's got the Fair and Forge Mordax," and he's showing it. And I was like, "I got mine too." And he goes, "No, you don't." I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I opened my hand, I got the whole. He's like, "You made that entire knife disappear." Or if I'm drinking like a beer, like a regular sized beer, and I got it in hand, and they're like, "Good God." So, I'm not a little guy. Not a little guy, Steve. My shoulder hurts. Just from doing that. Just from doing that screen. No, it was a diesel when I bought it. It was a diesel when I bought it. That was the first year that the Volkswagen Golf was available in the turbo diesel configuration. And I ordered it from Germany because it's exactly what I wanted. I ordered that car custom ordered in 2008. So the 2010 production year was the first year that that was available, and I got it in 2009. And this is the first time I've really had anything go wrong with it. So it's not a conversion. It has an Audi diesel engine in it, an Audi turbo diesel engine in it. It's probably due for a little bit of work, but I figure, you know, as many miles as I'll get out of this thing, this can be worth it. An Audi diesel is going to last. I will drive the wheels off of that before I could drop that engine in another car. You know? So, what you doing out here, buddy? What you doing out here, buddy? What you doing, buddy? You want a belly rub? You want a belly rub? You do, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew you wanted a belly rub. The size of his paws. Guys, we just established how big my hands are. Look at the size of his paws. Look at that. There's another reason I'm not filming. Let's go out here and see if they're... I got the 35s out. Those aren't the 35s. Nope. They've been flying to 35s overhead all day. I mean, all day. And it's just been loud. Our roses are coming into bloom. Look at that. Look at all them roses. And then I forget what are these? Victory? I don't remember. Brent, guess what, Brent? If you can hear me, bye. So yeah, we got a Victory Lily here, roses, rosemary. I have one of the prettiest yards in the neighborhood. We play cornhole here because it's just perfect for it. There he is. I don't know if you guys can see him, but I can hear him. I can hear him. You go potty. I'm gonna go potty. You want to pee in the side yard? You want to pop? You want to water the roses? So. I used to work for Volkswagen Service Department. Saw several with 600,000 miles plus still on the road. I don't even have 200,000 on this thing. I think I got 132,000 on it. Hey, come on, house. In the house. Nope, jump. In the house. In the house. Go. In the house. Neighbor's coming on a bicycle. I don't want him running out in the road. So hold on. Come on, let's go this way. Let's go this way. I'll take you around to the back. I'll take you guys with us. We'll go around to the back. Go around to the backyard. No. I think he just stepped in some dog shit. Out in front. We got roses back here too. You go potty? So when you guys see videos that get filmed in the yard, this is where they get filmed. They get filmed back here. He's on steroids, and so he's been drinking a lot and peeing a lot. So there's a lot of mornings. This is where I have my coffee. So he and I will come out here, and that stuff is over there to keep him from digging under that tree. But this is where I typically have my morning coffee on my days off. is right there. I like this yard. I spend a lot of time out here. My wife has been doing a lot of stuff. She's got a flower garden that she started over here. Last time you guys saw it, it was not in anywhere near this. Oh, hey. Great job pooping, buddy. Great job. Said, could I get a little fucking privacy, please? I gotta pick that up. Do you have any experience with heavy set tactical knives? I haven't, but I have talked with, I can't think of his name. I talked with him, the owner of the company, when it was the whole thing with Survive Knives. I was talking to him, and he's friends with Scab. You guys know I'm friends with Scab. From what I understand, they're pretty good knives. I wouldn't shy away from trying one. I gotta pick up all that. That might not be one that we can pick up. Ooh. His medicine gives him gives a little taste of the Lucy's. A little taste of the Lucy's. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can get this. Up. We got it all. We got it all. You guys want to see it? I'm not gonna show it to you. I'm just kidding. But I do have to. You guys have to hang on a second. I gotta tie the bag up. There we go. Yeah, they look pretty good. I'm not unimpressed with them. So you see all this ivy? It goes up these trees. So we had all this rain, and I'm surprised they haven't bloomed yet, but they get all these pretty little yellow flowers, and they go all the way up both these. Oh, well, it goes all the way up both of these trees to the top, and then part way up this one, and then it's a little bit on this one, and they look beautiful when that ivy comes into bloom. Unfortunately, this tree may have to have the top cut out of it because the other side of this is completely dead. So I spent a lot of time back here. Spent a lot of time testing knives back here. It's a nice little mosquito encampment that we have here. So that's right. So if you see the videos where I'm testing and I'm chopping and I'm doing stuff, are there any local knife shops in San Diego? There is one all the way up on the side of the mountain in Julian area. It's one of the only, I think it's the only brick and mortar knife store that I know of. It's the only one I can think of in San Diego, unless you go to like Dick's Sporting Goods and you want to buy a fucking buy an Ozark Trail $10 folding knife like you can get at Walmart. Basically the same type of thing. No, there's a place in Julian, and I keep meaning to get with the guy that owns the place. I know him, he's a friend of mine. He bought it, and now he runs it. It's the only brick and mortar that I can think of. It's the oldest one in San Diego. It's like one of the oldest ones in Southern California. Problem is Julian is like a touristy type of trap. Right now would be touristy kind of place. And there's no public restrooms anywhere. And it's always really crowded. And there's only like, it's like when you go to an amusement park and they have just a couple, like they have a couple of restrooms located throughout the park that you got to go to. It's kind of like that. And it's like an hour drive up there, and it's a really small store. It's not even the size of my garage, really. And I probably have more knives here than they have. But they have a lot of really cool stuff. But it's just a fun trip. We may go up there. You guys may see a video of me going up there. I've said I was going to do it a couple times, but the fact is it's just such a trek for such a little payoff. And I really don't like going to Julian. Like I said, it's all tourist based. It's like a frontier kind of town thing, and they have the Julian apple pies up there, which, don't get me wrong, it's one of the best apple pies. It's probably the best apple pie I've ever had. I'm sorry, Grandma, I know you're watching from above for me to say that it's better than my grandmother's apple pie, I should say something, because my grandmother's apple pie was fucking amazing. It's that good. But the fact is, I can buy a frozen one and bake it at home, or I can buy a baked one and take it home and eat it. I'm like, why would I make that trip up there just to get a warm piece of apple pie when I can just warm up a piece of apple pie here? You know what I mean? And the 2 times I've been up there, they were sold out. I was like, so, you know, there's a lot of expenditure into going up there, because I got to pay for fuel. And I'm going to tell you right now, you remember here recently I did the video. It's good. It is the best apple pie I've ever had in my life. It is delightful. Julian apple pie. It's famous, and it's famous for a reason. And if you're here, please drop a like. I'm not asking you to drop a super chat. I'm just asking you to drop a like. So it's a big drive up there, and I said it when I went to Chris and Elliot's house. Every time I film outside of this studio, there's always something that happens. We had corrupted footage when I went to Elliot's. We had audio that didn't work when I went up to Elliot's. I broke a tripod. Well, I didn't break it. I brought it home and got ready to set up, and one of the legs fell off. When I take my equipment somewhere to film off-site, something always gets damaged, and things always go wrong. And so I'm like, you know what? I just don't see it being worth it to film going up there, because then it turns into that thing, like, if I wanted to go, I would go with Tino. Like, Tino, I would go and we would just go hang out. There's a reason you guys don't see knife show videos anymore. One, I haven't went to a knife show because I don't like people. And two, the second reason is, if I go and I feel like I have to film, well, one, no one watches those videos. No one really wants to watch the videos of the California Custom Knife Show. So it winds up being like 5 separate videos from a 2-day show, and I put a lot of work into editing it, and I cut up the clips, and I spend the entire time I'm there filming, and I don't get to hang out with any of the people I like. And it takes what could have been spent as a 1 day at the show, maybe the night before for like the Friday Night Blade Affair, and it turns it into 3 days, and then I don't get any enjoyment from it. There's no payoff. People don't really watch other than the first video, and I don't get to hang out and spend any time with the people I like. And I wind up spending the entire time of the show, and then you just feel like you constantly have to walk around. If I wasn't filming, I would go up the night before, maybe walk around the first day of the show, and when I got tired, go home. But when I go up for a show and I'm going to film it, I wind up going up, and Nico and I stay at the venue, at the hotel at the venue, and then, you know, now we've got cost incurred because now we're staying at a hotel. I've got all that stuff I have to drag to and from the show, and then I don't get any enjoyment out of it. I don't get to actually spend time with my friends. So if I go to another show, you're not going to see a video of it. You may see like little shorts. I may just pull out my phone and just film something, but you're not going to see full-length videos. It just, there's no payoff. It's just a pain in the ass. Too much stuff to carry, running the risk of breaking my, like, I'm pretty sure I have to get my computer in the shop to get some, because there's something wrong with it. So I run the risk of damaging a $1,300 computer that I use for all my editing. You know, I've got actual cameras and stuff that are not cheap. Tripods that I use that are not cheap. Audio equipment that I use that's not cheap. And so it just doesn't make sense. You need a cleaning with an ostrich egg. What is wrong with you? So, but yeah, guys, I'm not gonna keep this any longer. I just thought we'd hang out for a little bit. I think I'm going to actually enjoy my day off and play some video games. I will, like I said, I have to film videos about these 2 items. I already filmed a video, and you guys, even the paying members, have not seen it yet. I filmed the video about that O knife. That is the I'm gonna take these boots off. That is the OAL aluminum frame lock, which it's the only. I think I know that they did another one in OAL, and it was a Ken Onion, and I hated everything about it. I got news for you. As much as I like Ken Onion, and he's a nice guy, and he's a very nice guy, I don't like his designs. I really don't. I don't like Ken Onion's designs. I find them to be unappealing and, for the most part, for me, not useful. There's Liv up there. I find them to just not be the style knife that I gravitate to. Now, I will say the chive was nice. The chive and the leak and the, what was it? The chive and, was that it? Was it just the chive and the leak? They were okay. But they weren't knives that, the small one, I think that was the chive, right? I like the chive. I didn't like the leak. And I just don't find his knives to be that great. And there was a guy that I kind of broke my rule about like commenting on things. Oh, what is this? Too many curves, yeah. So you guys know Metal Complex did the video about this knife. I didn't get to watch all of it yet. I'll probably watch the rest of it later. Or at least listen to it while I'm playing video games. And there was a guy to go, oh, it's gonna be $400. Why we don't even watch the video? It's worthless. And I was like, yeah, you're talking out of your butt because I haven't released the price of the knife, and I got news for you. I believe this is under 300. I believe that's the plan, that these will be under 300. Titanium, carbon fiber. And then Richard over at Metal Complex, he's it's a full flat. No, it's convex. It's quite clearly not flat. It's a full convex, not a full flat. And I'm like, now I will say, so if you watch his video, he said that the detent was a little light. It was. That one that went around, so this one went to Jared, the white one went to a couple other people. So this one to Jared and someone else, and they sent the knife back and then told me, like, I was going to release this video, and they were like, I was going to edit it after I sent the knife. He's like, I already sent the knife off. I forget who I sent it to. It wasn't Bobby, because Bobby's video went up. Jim's video went up. Jared's video went up. It wasn't Scab. I forget who I sent it to. It was another YouTuber. And they're like, the footage is ruined. Like, it won't, like, I can't use it. Like, it won't, there's too many broken frames, and my editing software won't even let me import it. And I was like, oh shit. So this one went to 2 people, and the white one went to 2 people. This one, or 3 people. This one went to 2 people. The white one went to Bobby, then from Bobby to Jim Skelton, then from Jim Skelton over to Richard at Metal Complex. That one did have soft detent, but in my defense and the company's defense, it's a prototype. The detent on this one was a little, it wasn't me, it was their footage. It was his footage, not my footage. I know what's wrong with my footage. I had the compression, when I have problems with footage a lot of times, because I screw up the compression rate, especially if I'm doing multiple angle shots, because you got to have the frame rate, the compression, you got to have all the audio compression rate and the frame rate the same, or you wind up with hiccups when you try to combine footage. That video I did outside with the two cameras when I first shot it, doing multi-angle shots, I know how to do it now, but I had stuff screwed up. I had audio compression rate that was not the same on the audio recording as it was on the cameras, and so that meant that it was really hard to make a multi-angle shot, because you have to combine both camera shots and the audio. It's a third element. And so there was that problem that I had, and there is an issue with importing data sometimes, especially if I'm filming, because I do still use my phone for some of this stuff. If I'm filming on my phone, I keep forgetting that, like, I know AirDrop is cool and I can send all the files and stuff, but I need to check it really good, because every once in a while there'll be dropped audio. from sending it airdrop. There'll be like, you'll hear little spots where the audio cuts out. If you watch mine was seamless. I got it figured out. But dropped audio on a video is typically because I didn't import it with like connecting the device directly to the computer. And sometimes I'll use Wi-Fi and airdrop it, and my camera will let me send files directly over Wi-Fi too. I've found that I get way less problems with audio if I just connect the device directly. It takes a little bit longer, but it absolutely is. I don't know why it's so much faster to send files via airdrop than it is to take them off of the hard drive. I don't know why. At any rate. So, but yeah, that one that Richard over at Metal Complex had, it had a little bit weaker detent. And the thing was, I sent that one out for review before I sent this one out because I wanted to do my video, which meant this one got to Jared. That one went out, but when I did my video on it, because I was like, I want to get these out so people can see them first, right? I did my video with both of them, and I looked at, and then I took this one apart and I adjusted this one has a stiffer detent because I adjusted the lock bar tension. The other one did not get that, and I have not seen that knife since I sent it off a long time ago, which is why I was hounding Metal Complex about the video, because when these launch, I want to have both the prototypes back for the video. So, and there was somebody who was like, well, it looks like a Ferrum Forge. I'm like, well, that's because the guy that taught me how to make knives is the guy that owns Ferrum Forge. And it definitely does have a very similar feel to the Stinger, and I've mentioned that, and I pointed it out to Elliot. I was like, please, like, if you are not cool, when I sent him the 3D rendering, when I got ready to launch, before I even signed a contract or agreed to have them start making things into a knife, taking metal and putting it on a machine, he was like, yeah, why would I have a problem with it? It looks like a good knife. So I will give him one as a gift. Yeah, and so you are going to see a lot of similarities. This thing is amazing. This is insanely good at cutting. Oh, guess what? Before you even finish, goodbye. Don't try and fuck things up for other people. Here's the thing, like when you come on, I know I've cursed a lot in this, which is out of character for me, but this kind of felt like it. I was doing other stuff, and I let a bunch fly. Don't try and screw things up for other people. Don't be a garbage human. Right? Like, why? Why? That's what's wrong with this country. You know what we need is a lot more people to start going outside. On videos, yeah. Have you ever really heard me curse in a video? I'll drop one every once in a while on a live feed. I've just done it a lot more in this one. We need a lot more people to start going outside and doing the things that they do in chats so that they get punched in the face a lot more. That's what's wrong with this country. Most of these people have never been punched in the mouth. Most of these people have never been punched in the mouth, and it shows. It shows. Right? You need to get a wiggly tooth and have to go visit your dentist every once in a while. Like, these people need a reset. I'd be more than happy to arrange that meeting with my fist for half these idiots that you see. I just don't understand why people have to do. Here's the thing. Have you seen what's going on in this country? You know why? It's because we stopped bullying. And it's not. I 100% blame my generation. We got bullied. And I don't mean like bullying. I don't want you to like go up and pepper box the school or anything. What I'm saying is a little bit of bullying will let you know what is and isn't socially acceptable. And so a little bit constructive bullying, as we would call it. I mean, we didn't have over the top bullying. We didn't, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I want bullying that gets people running for the razors, but just enough to let you know that maybe you shouldn't come to school in a cat costume as a 13-year-old boy. You know? Just a little, just gentle. You know what I mean? Little. And my generation's the ones that stopped it. We did. I'm not gonna lie, we stopped it. We were like, oh, it's wrong. And then we look at like how everything's panning out. We're like, I think we might have abandoned that plan a little too quickly. Hey, guess what? Bye. So, at any rate, this should be coming soon. And I did see that Richard mentioned the fact that they will be removing that. Now, the other thing he did not mention, and I tried to reach out to him, I like Richard, don't get me wrong. Metal Complex is a great dude. He does a lot for the knife community. But that dude absolutely has my contact info. He absolutely has me on Instagram, and he didn't once reach out to find out anything about the knife. He flew into it blind, and he said things about the knife and forgot to say things about the knife. So he said things that were incorrect, and he didn't say things that needed to be said, which does irritate me about knife reviewers, especially if you know you can contact the designer or the maker. It is not hard to contact me. So if you guys want to let him know, I'm frustrated because I reached out to him before he even received the knife, telling him to contact me. I gave him my phone number on a DM, and I sent it with Jim when he sent this, and he didn't even try to contact me to find out anything about the knife, which is not how I do it. I do a lot of trying to get in touch with people, getting in touch with the company, like, hey, tell me more about it and things like that. So there will not be a logo on here. These will be T8 hardware all around. And I think that's basically it for right now. It's in S90V, which he didn't know the steel, even though it's quite clearly marked right there as S90V. And had he contacted me, I'd have told him the info. So if you guys want to hound him in his comments about like, hey, you could have found out more information about that knife had you just contacted Mike, considering he sent you a DM with his phone number so that you could text him. So I say it in good, but he does it, and there's a couple other knife reviewers that just fly into stuff blind without. Now, granted, I do blind reviews, so there's a lot of times that I will get something and not know anything about it. It's just love that about Farrenforder's Knife Works minimal billboarding. It's just tell him I lambasted him on a live feed lovingly, because I'm glad he liked it, because it did seem as though he liked the knife. So I like it. The longer I have it, the more it grows. And this is 100%. You guys asked when there was going to be a crazy sharp folding knife, and so all the things that I love in knives got put in this. And the fact it's a convex, that just doesn't happen. It does not happen in the knife community, in the knife world very often. You get fixed blades every once in a while that are full convex, but very rarely. There's a lady walking up and down the sidewalk wearing a very short skirt, a billowy top that's cut off, like a, I don't know what you call them, It comes down below the shoulders, like the shoulder piece. I don't know what you call it. I don't know anything about women's fashion. And socks. If you walk around outside in socks, you're a fucking serial killer. There's just no two ways around it. If you walk up and down the sidewalk, I've walked out like onto my mat outside to grab a package at the front door and then immediately wipe the bottoms of my socks off. But if you walk around outside with socks and no shoes, you're a serial killer. I think I want to close my garage door, go get my pew-pew. May need to put my firearm on my waist. Don't forget to make a sharpening video because people will ask, we're homeless, not homeless, very, very obviously not homeless. Well, too well clothed. I wear sandals with socks, and it's not because I'm old. It's because I wear socks around the house, because we have a dog. And I don't care how much you clean your house, your dog's going to track things throughout the house. Your dog is going to track dirt from your yard into the house. But I wear sandals because for years, my biggest fear, I dropped, after this happened, my biggest fear, and Jared actually did it. I dropped a knife one time and it landed, it was an assisted open, but I do know that this could happen with any knife because it does not take a lot with a knife that has a very good detent to snap open. I dropped a knife, hit the flipper tab, it snapped open, and it laid flat like that. And I was like, ooh, I could have stepped on that. And after that, anytime I'm doing something with knives, I've got on a pair of slides with adequately thick soles because I don't want to step on a blade. Jared did it here a couple years ago and sent me a picture of it, and I was like, oh my God, did you drop a knife and then step on it? And he was like, yep. And I was like, that is my, you just had my biggest fear come to life. I don't like, there was a time when a lot of the knives that you wanted to get, the only way you got them was assisted open. I will say there were some kind of CRKT showed you how to take the knife apart and de-assist it. There were a lot of knives that just didn't have detent that were assisted opening. So if you took the spring out, the spring tension was the only thing, because of the way the spring was in there, was the only thing that was holding the knife shut, because it would hold it shut, and then it would go past a certain point. I was trying to show you, it would go past a certain point, and then the spring would push it the rest of the way open. So there was a lot of knives that just didn't have detent. The only thing holding them shut was that spring. And so CRKT actually had a detent on their knives so that you could carry it as a non-assisted knife. And I would do that all the time. Yeah, the blur. I tried to de-assist my blur. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just stuck with an assisted open. I will not buy an assisted opening knife ever again. The Ken Onion Speed Safe. There's things that make knives feel cheap. An assisted opening knife feels cheap. Like, I associate assisted opening with garbage knives like what you see from Frost Cutlery. And we do need to do one of these Sundays, Sunday night, and I'll get the computer out and we will do a Cutlery Corner viewing on Rumble. And I'll start it on here, and then we'll go to Rumble, and we will watch. I will figure out how to do it. I'll use Rumble Studios, and we're going to do it on Rumble, because that way I can say everything I want to say, because there's things I can't say on YouTube. So that's something we'll plan on. No point assisted opening knives since there's bearings, unless you're firefighter in California and you won that lawsuit. What lawsuit was that? I don't know what lawsuit that was. Sleepy Insomnia. Hit me up on my do me a favor. Like down below, there should be a link that says join the community. Join that. Join my Gilded server down there. Now you will have to go through the whole Roblox server thing, but then it just like it'll take you like you sign into. You don't have to have a Roblox account. You just basically then have to go to Gilded through there. It's just because Gilded now uses Roblox's servers for their, you know, for their thing. So it's not actually Roblox. It's just through there. But the reason I use Gilded is because, well, because Discord shuts things down. Discord shut things down when you start sending messages, and then they find it offensive and they shut stuff down. So it's it says join the community. Any of you guys that are watching, do that. And like if you've got something you want me to put on the channel, because I'm short on stuff for content right now. I really am. I don't have anything new until that S30V Janice song shows up. And I'm gonna film a video about the cold steel sword cane, but also walking sticks, because there was, I don't know if you guys know this, there was an actual British martial art that revolved around walking sticks, like opera sticks and opera canes and sword canes, and it was a mix of a bunch of stuff. It was called Bartitsu. And it was a guy who lived in Japan, and he studied jujitsu and some other martial arts, and he came back and he came up with the gentleman's fighting arts. So it had pugilism and stick fighting and sword canes and all kinds of things, and it was called the gentleman's martial art. And it was a very effective self-defense system. So no, I'm just gonna, it's one of those videos that's not like a review video. It's something that I've wanted to. So if you guys have noticed, there's some videos that I've done recently that have been kind of out of character for the channel. They're more like talking about, you know, is a knife too big and what would you use this for, and some of the history of some of these knives and stuff. And it's stuff I want to do for a while, but they take a lot of work because there's research that goes into it, and a lot of times they're filmed differently and things like that. But this is one that I want to do. That talks about kind of the history of like sword canes. Like they were the medieval time. I'm sorry, they were the Victorian like pocket pistol, and then opera canes like this. This does not have a sword in it, but this is a very, very effective tool for self-defense. And it still is a very, very effective cane. When my knee hurts, I take this for walks. And it's all fiberglass, and it's got this great big like quarter-pound aluminum head on it. It's attractive, and it's easy to use as an actual cane. And having taken martial arts for years, I could just knock the ever-living crap out of you with this. Either end of it, because it's nice and slender like this, so it's very whippy going this way, so it's gonna leave a mark. But when you grab it double-handed on this end, then you have a bludgeon, and you can, I'm not carrying it double-handed, but my other hand would be up further, up about this point, and then I'd be down here, and double-handed, I could use it to hit you in the middle of the sternum with it, and it's gonna do some damage. PNW Funworks, if you join the Discord that I just talked about, you can hit me up in a DM, and if you want to loan me a stick that you made, I will put it on the channel, and you can DM me, and we can figure out how you're gonna get it here. So it's oh, my neck hurts. There's like that's what I kind of had envisioned that public Discord to be, was a way that if you guys had things that you wanted to ask about, like if you saw something on the channel and you had a question, like, hey, you didn't talk about this, like I got a question, I could answer those questions. And if you had something you hadn't seen on the channel and you wanted to loan it to me, I'm gonna tell you right now, I tell companies this all the time. You've heard me talk about it in live feeds. I don't necessarily want a free knife. Like a lot of guys, and I understand why they do it, I get it, because they can add it to their stockpile of things that they have and do like compilation videos and stuff like that. But a lot of times I feel as though getting a free knife makes people think you're compromised. But it says down below in the description of the video, it should say join the community. If it's not in this one, it will be in one of the like pre-recorded videos. So you can find one of my videos. But so I've dispelled that by saying, you know, like when I buy a knife, I am probably going to be more compromised, because like if I buy a knife and I've spent like $300 on it, I don't want to see something wrong with it. I'm blinded by the fact that I just spent that money, right? If I get something from a company, I didn't spend any money on it. So if it's garbage, then I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel as though I've missed out on anything, right? So getting a free knife is, for a lot of, and even for me, it's like the price of me doing a video. It's free advertising for them. I get the knife, I can use it in multiple videos. But I've got so many knives, and I just don't think that I necessarily have to get a free knife every time. And there's a lot of times I'll see a knife and I'm like, I don't think I want that knife, but I'd like to do a video about it. And so I'll tell them, I'm like, look, if you've got one that's been laying around that got used, like a prototype that was like the final prototype, right? Like that was the final prototype, and that's how that knife was going to come out, and that was there were going to be 0 changes, and you carried it, send it to me, and I will, you know, I'll do a video and I'll send it back. But what happens is a lot of times companies are like, we're just going to send you one, because it's free advertising for them. And so you wind up getting the knife anyway. But the fact is, I typically will tell companies and makers and things like that, don't send me. I'm not trying to get a free knife. I'm not trying to get a free knife. I mean, you guys saw, I have, that set of shelves is 7 feet tall, and there are probably over 100 knives on those shelves that are still in their boxes because they never get carried. I don't have room for them in my other cases. They weren't knives that I was over the moon about anyway, so they weren't knives that I'm going to carry regularly, but they do make, you know, appearances in videos. So it is nice to have a stockpile of videos, you know, things to toss in videos. But there are some channels out there, and I will tell you, and I know them and I understand their standpoint, I just don't agree with it. There are channels out there that will not do a video unless they get the free knife and they can have an affiliate link to make money on the purchase of that knife that they just did video on it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's not me personally. I do a lot. There are a lot of knives that you see on this channel I don't have a single affiliate link for it. Not a single one. Like if that knife sells, I don't make a penny. The stuff that when you use my discount code, crazysharp at Fair and Forge Knife Works, or over at my buddy's shop, where I can show you because I don't have my pistol in it. He makes pistol stands. So like it's a barrel mount, so your gun sits on top of it and it's available. He'll make custom ones. Everything's dusty because I left the door open when I was using the air compressor to blow down the front. But it's, yeah, I had to clean everything. Like there's dust on everything. I screwed up. Like everything's covered with dust. Now I have to clean this when I'm done. But like put a spare mag on it. So like you can get the stuff. You can get a 10% discount by using like I think it's Crazy Sharp to get these, and he makes fidget spinners, not fidget spinners, but haptic fidget toys and things like that. I don't make anything on the sale of those. Those are my friends. I just can give you a discount and draw people to their channel or to their business. So that's the next thing I have to do is things are a mess. I got my air compressor out and hooked it up, and I have one of those ones that you hook up to your car battery, and I got the nozzle, and I was like blowing out the seam there, and I was blowing that out, and then I realized that I hadn't closed the garage door, and like everything has got, see it? Everything's got a coating of dust on it, and I was like, well, that was stupid. So I mean everything, even the shelves all the way back there. So Will, we're not going to talk about that here. We already talked about it in the group chat. Will. What's that? At any rate, guys, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this. I'm not going to do a full 2 hours. I'm gonna end this. Guys, you want to see something cool? I'm gonna work hat. It's such a mess out here. It's such a mess when I'm not out here filming every day. Stuff just gets tossed on my workbench. Like I come home from work and I just toss stuff, and it's a mess. It's a mess. And I need to clean all this up. That's how I'm gonna spend the rest of the afternoon. I'm gonna watch a movie and clean all this up and then play a video game, because I haven't done that in a while. So, at any rate, guys, thanks for hanging out. It was pretty fun. Next thing is tomorrow. I gotta take the car to the shop, and then whenever the Amazon delivery comes with my new screen door, I gotta hang that new screen up on the nice thing. The nice thing about it is that all of the Velcro, I gotta get that out and clean up. All of the Velcro is still in place, so I can just, I'm gonna re-nail all of it though, because when I yanked it, I yanked those nails, those little nubbin nails loose. So all that Velcro is still in place, so all I have to do is just put the new, just hang the new screen door. So it absolutely is a godsend in the summer, because you can come out here, I can move the green screen, and then we can actually use all of this area back. Yeah, look how much dust. Look how much dust is all over all that stuff. I screwed up. I definitely screwed up. Yeah, look at this. I made a mistake. I chose poorly. I chose poorly. I'm gonna have to, oh, that means my, all this is just gonna be covered with dust. Yeah, that is. All I had to do was close the garage door when I did it. All I had to do was close the garage door. Why do I do these things? Oh, it's a mess. I clean everything out here. I might not get to play video games. I just realized how bad. Like that was that moment where you're like, that was worse than I thought it was. So, anyway, guys, I love you all. I'm gonna get off of here. Will, don't ever ask me about that again. And see you guys next time. Later.